I spent my 2 years at Hwa Chong at the Bukit Batok campus. Those 2 years were extremely memorable because the campus was situated in the HDB area where there was very easy to actually do a lot of things outside your classes. And I remember some of my classmates together with some of my council mates, especially during the time when we were studying for exam, we always try to study, but the reality is we never study at all. And what we do is, when classes end at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, all of us would gather at an LT6, I remember, and all pretend to study, right? All trying to study. And then at around 4:30, when the sun is starting to set, someone will take out a volleyball or basketball and start bouncing in the LT and then distract everybody. And then all of us decide, okay, enough of studying, let's all go and play volleyball or play basketball. And I remember from 4:30, we played until the sun really went down. It was night at about 7 p.m. Then all of us, hot and sweaty, would then walk slowly to the coffee shop. I remember we always had to, sit there and, eat hor fun or eat fried rice, and then with our drink, our bandung. And from 7 o'clock, we would eat at the 8:15, we chit-chat. And then we walk slowly back to LT6 at 8:30 p.m. And that's the time when everybody starts to panic. Because that's the time when people really start to study, because we realize that we wasted all our time earlier. So between 8:30 and 11:30 is when the real studying happens, where everybody gets very serious because people are starting to panic, and of course some of them have exams or tests the next day. And then at 11:30, people had to go home because we had to catch the last bus. I remember I had to catch 179 to go back. And sometimes we are a bit late and we see the bus just pass the school, and all of us had to run and catch the bus. Otherwise we would have to take a taxi home, and those were very memorable times because the walk back to the bus stop, it's at night, you walk past the flats, and you feel good. The school is dark, and we spend a lot of time chatting away, and sometimes, okay, I shouldn't be saying this on video, but sometimes we always dare each other to do push-ups on the road because there were no cars, and we do a lot of crazy things. In fact, I hope I won't get arrested by saying this. So it was a very memorable time. Even when we studied and studied together, it was a really good time, and those memories really stayed with me. The other one thing that always stuck in my mind, and I'm sure if you ask my other schoolmates from the 89 to 90 batch, as you know, I was the president of the Students' Council. I had my two schoolmates who were the general secretaries, Juan and Guo Yuan, who had to give the announcements every morning after flag raising. And one day they got up. Now these two are classic characters. They're very funny people. One day they got up, and the announcement was supposed to say, "Can all the softball boys team turn up at the flagpole after flag raising for a meeting?" So instead of saying, "Can all the softball boys turn up?" they actually said, "Can all the softball balls turn up?" I tell you, the whole school cracked up. Even the principal, Mr. Chan Tong Fong at that time, and Mrs. Ho Woon Ho, the vice principal, couldn't help but start laughing. And of course, it was very embarrassing for the two of them, but that was funny. I mean, the whole day, it was just everyone laughing and teasing them about that slip up that they made during the announcement. So during the council days, as you know, councillors have a lot of activities to organize, and every year Hwa Chong, one thing unique about Hwa Chong is the Mooncake Festival, right? Now it so happens mooncake is always quite near to exams, so it's always a time where people start to panic and all that. But I think when it came to actually organizing and set up the tournament, I don't know whether you all have it now, but this is the gate of the city gate, right, where we had to put up, and every year it got more and more complex. So I remember the year when we were doing the tournament at the Bukit Batok campus. It was really complicated, and we spent about 3 weeks working on it, and even the day before the event we couldn't finish. And I remember the team just pulling up their sleeves and working through the night. And I remember there were some other CCAs there, and the people, although they're not councillors, they came to help us to really build up the tournament. I remember some of the Bukit Batok residents also came the night before to come and look at us and see what we're doing. And one guy actually bought drinks for us, and we were very, very thankful about that. And I remember the team really worked, without sleeping, without eating, to get the tournament, set up before morning came. And I think by around 6 a.m. it was finally done. We were cutting it very close, but we managed to do it, and I guess that's the Hwa Chong can-do spirit.